Hello, a huge warm welcome to the Style Stories podcast with me, your host, personal stylist Lisa Gillbe. This is a podcast that discusses style, image and fashion. I've been a personal stylist in London for the last 14 years. I've seen inside literally hundreds of people's wardrobes, and I know that across the board, everyone struggles with the same things. That age-old problem of having too many clothes but not enough outfits. It just means you need some new ideas, some new inspiration, and really get to know what your personal style is. And that's what we aim to do in this podcast. I share my tips and tricks gathered over the past 14 years, working with people and pulling together functional wardrobes that fit people's personal style and their lifestyle as well. And I have some wonderful guests on here to join me and share their expertise as well, and of course share their own style stories. This podcast is for you if you want to know what to wear to work, if you'd like some inspiration on your personal style, and to know what's on trend and what's hot for the season. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you are enjoying the podcast, and if you're new, welcome. So in the last episode, which was the first of the new series and the new season of the Style Stories podcast, I kicked off with what's hot for autumn. So what we can see over the next months, what people are going to be wearing, influencers, and what we're going to be wearing as normal people, what we're going to be seeing in the shops, and what the trends are and what's hot for the new season. So there were quite a lot of things in there, and we're going to run through a bit of a list of what I covered. I also created a blog, so all the suggestions and the trends that I talked about in the last episode of this podcast, you can head to my blog and you can shop my recommendations directly from there. So I've gathered an edit of the trends of the season, and you can find that at lisagillbestyle.com and click on the blog, and I will put the link for that shoppable blog in the show notes, not the style notes, in the show notes below this podcast episode. So I'm going to be talking today about what makes a really functional autumn winter wardrobe. So the key pieces, which are known as the without fail pieces. So these are the absolute core elements of a wardrobe that I believe will make sure that you have the right thing to wear and that are really functional and really, worthwhile, and you get a good cost per wear from. Then the rest of the wardrobe can be more sort of statement, fun pieces, but these are the without fail items I'm going to run through in a second. And each person is different. Everyone has a different style personality, so you might need a different version of this, which I will talk about in a bit more detail. So before I go into that, I just wanted to talk about the main trends that we're going to be seeing coming up in this season, autumn, winter. So the colours of the season are red, splashes of red, definitely burgundy, and it's being called Merlot and all those sorts of wine names as well. Burgundy is huge. That's going to be everywhere. Blush pink, which is a bit of a move on from the Barbie pink that we've been seeing recently, and the more neon kind of ice cream sweet pink. So more of a blush muted pink is in. And I forgot to mention in the last episode, I realised olive khaki. That's huge. So that's the shade of green. That's amazing and beautiful for this time of year. And that looks great with burgundy. It also looks great with grey. It looks great with the blush pink. So all these colours are sort of in for the season. That's what we're going to be seeing in the shops. Pattern wise, leopard print is massive. Has it ever gone out, actually? I'm not really sure. People do think, and fashion editors say, that leopard is a neutral. And it used to have connotations of Bette Lynch in Coronation Street. You might be too young or you might not know that reference, but it's kind of a sort of barmaid kind of tacky pattern. But it isn't. And, it really isn't. It's really, really chic, really stylish, and it's definitely here to stay. All the fashion editors on the front row at London Fashion Week were wearing coats. Lots of them were wearing leopard print coats. So it's definitely here to stay for the time being. And another pattern that's really in as well are polka dots. The polka dots are also huge, which makes me very happy because I don't really love pattern that much. I tend to get quite tired of pattern. But I do, so I prefer block colours in my wardrobe. But polka dots, they're always a feature. I've got a few polka dot blouses. I've got a really lovely one with yellow polka dots on it from Me&M, pussy bow blouse that I really like wearing with jeans. And I've got a couple of polka dot dresses that I love as well. So that's huge. Also sheer things. So we've seen lots of mesh. I don't know if you've noticed the mesh ballet flats and the mesh see-through shoes that have been around. They're definitely here to stay while it's warm enough. But also just mesh and see-through dresses, specifically as well, dresses worn over jeans, which is a trend that we haven't seen for quite a few years now, but that's absolutely back. And I really quite like that layering trend as well. Fair Isle is very much a thing. I think that must come back every season anyway. Also tweed, so in blazers, really lovely Donegal tweed and Scottish tweeds and all those sorts of things, in plaid and tartan as well. So all these trends I talked about in a lot more detail because we've just had London Fashion Week in the last episode. That was just a very quick overview of the main things that we're going to be seeing this season. So if you'd like more detail about what trends are hot, then listen to the episode just before this one. So today's episode is all about autumn must-haves. Now, the age-old problem of having lots of clothes in your wardrobe, but still no outfits. You would think, wouldn't you, when you look in your wardrobe and see all these clothes in there, you must have a multitude of outfits. And do you know what you probably have? And the thing is, a lot of the time, you just need either some more ideas about how to wear these things, or perhaps your style has completely moved on from when you first bought these clothes, but you still hang on to them because you feel guilty and you feel bad about getting rid of those clothes because that feels wasteful. So it could be that. It could be you've got lots of volume there. You're not letting things go that speak to a past version of you. So, they're main reasons. Also, maybe you're shopping and what you're doing is you're adding volume and you're just buying things, but you're not looking at the mix of the wardrobe as a whole. If you've got a wardrobe that's just full of volume and you would think that should make it easy to create outfits, it's not going to be easy to create outfits if you've got lots of the same item in there, or you don't have the right mix of pieces in your wardrobe. Outfits are a recipe and you need the right ingredients to make the outfit work. So say, for example, you're a magpie shopper like me. I am a self-proclaimed magpie shopper. My head gets turned. I've also got ADHD as well. So my head is always turning to the next new thing, the next shiny new thing I want in my wardrobe. And at the moment, I'm overexcited about the new season. I'm overexcited. I've got a wish list of things that I want. But realistically, I can't have all those things. And I've got to be careful. Am I duplicating what I've already got in my wardrobe? Because it feels good to get cost per wear from things in your wardrobe. It feels really good to get your money's worth out of things as well. So what I recommend doing is having a really long, hard look before you dive into any of the trends this season, before you go out and buy things and create your wish list. First of all, how much volume have you got in the wardrobe? Can you see a pattern there? Can you see that you buy maybe the same thing on repeat? You buy lots, you're a magpie shopper perhaps, and you go for the statement pieces. You find buying basics quite boring. Or maybe you're someone who buys lots of practical things. So you've got your North Face coat, you've got your walking boots, or you've got your sensible boots, shoes, whatever, but you don't have any fun pieces that light you up and make you feel good and excited. It's all too practical. Or maybe you just literally are in a style rut and you buy the same thing on repeat. So I had a client recently, she's a really good lawyer. I went to her house, looked in the wardrobe. She had loads of clothes, absolutely loads. But she said to me, this age-old problem again, how come I just can't pull outfits together? I've got all these clothes. I should have hundreds of outfits, surely. But like I've said, volume doesn't equal outfits. It just equals clutter. So the more volume you have doesn't necessarily mean that you have loads more outfits, because you don't have the right ingredients to make those outfits. She had bought on repeat a tunic style dress in various patterns, gorgeous, suited her figure. She'd landed on something that worked. It worked on her figure. It worked for her style personality, which was a little bit boho creative. So she just kept buying this same dress. What she didn't have were any jackets to pull it together. So she was finding when she was going to a panel chat, for example, and she had to sit on a stage with other people, she didn't feel put together because she was kind of sitting there in this slightly boho dress in her role as a lawyer, and felt she didn't feel pulled together. She had the wrong shoes. That's another one as well. You can have lots of really pretty, lovely clothes in your wardrobe, but you've got too much of the same and you don't have the right shoes. Again, it's another thing. You don't have the right ingredients in the wardrobe to make the outfits work and to actually create outfits. Or you've got beautiful statement skirts. You've got gorgeous slip skirts, pattern skirts, tulle, brocade, whatever it is that you're drawn to, but you have no basics. You have no plain tops. So you're like, what do I wear with this skirt? I've got this gorgeous skirt. I feel like wearing this today. A good thing to do is get a piece out of your wardrobe. Think to yourself, I'm in this kind of mood today. I'm feeling this skirt today. And then you've got to have the right piece to wear that. And if all you have is all pattern in your wardrobe, you don't have a balance of items in the wardrobe, then you're going to struggle to create an outfit from that gorgeous statement skirt. Or you're going to struggle to feel pulled together in certain situations if you've just got a load of patterned tunic dresses. So hopefully you see what I mean. There has to be a balance. So it's always good to take time to step back, look honestly at your wardrobe, say to yourself, have I been hoarding? Am I hoarding here? Have I got a load of clutter I'm never really going to wear? Put the clothes on, put them on. How do they make you feel? Are you over those things? Could you reduce some of that volume to make room for some focused buys that are going to make a big difference? So, maybe some things that are expensive, and sometimes it's quite hard to spend a bit more money on certain things. So like a pair of boots, that could bring together so many pieces in your wardrobe. Suddenly you can wear that dress that's a bit of an awkward length because you've got long boots, or suddenly if you get some basics, you can wear those skirts. What is it that could be missing from your wardrobe? Can you get rid of some things that realistically, if you're really honest with yourself, you've moved on from? They're out of date now. They don't look stylish anymore. They don't speak to who you are today. Maybe you want to look more polished and pulled together now. You used to be a bit more scruffy. This is definitely true for me. So I'm talking from a place of, knowing how I have changed the way I want to look and feel in my clothes. I used to be I'm naturally quite scruffy and a relaxed dresser. I definitely want to look smarter now. If I went to a networking event with lots of women in business, entrepreneurs or leaders, like those kinds of people, I would want to look polished and pulled together. I'd want to look a bit edgy and funky as well, a bit creative. But definitely I need the jackets. I need the tailoring in my wardrobe these days. And I may not have needed that a few years ago. I don't need high heels because I can't walk in them. So there's literally no point lusting after those or buying those. So, again, do you have clothes in your wardrobe that could be from a past version of you? Do you have clothes in your wardrobe that are from a past life? Could you let them go? Could you sell them on? Could you even, the very last resort, just bag them up and put them away in the loft, in carefully wrap them if you've got cashmere, put moth control in there, all those sorts of things, but just get them out of your space. And if you don't miss them, then let them go. You can do it in stages. If it's too much to just have a brutal cull at this point, then do it in stages. But I'll tell you what, September is the best time to hit reset on your wardrobe. So many new exciting things around. Because we haven't really been getting dressed in August, we've been flip-flopping around in floaty dresses, etc., going to Greece and going on holiday. It feels nice to get back into work, into the zone, and into a routine, and just to look around at what's happening for the next few months. And I love a jumper, I love knits, I love tweed, I love boots, coats, all of those sorts of things that we wear most of the year round. So this really is the part of your wardrobe and the element of your wardrobe that you should pay the most attention to. And in the next episode, I'm going to be talking about how to find your vibe and your aesthetic. So really to get to know a bit more about your personal style. And maybe that's moved on from when you listened to this podcast 6 months ago, because we evolve all the time. So, it's worth listening again if you've already listened. And if it's all new to you, there's going to be lots of nuggets in the next episode to really help you to get clarity on your personal style. So tune into that. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the autumn must-haves, the without fail items that I believe every wardrobe could benefit from. So, if you work in any kind of environment, I really think a tailored blazer is going to give you a lot of mileage. It's going to go a long way. It's going to help you in lots of scenarios. So that is my number one thing. If you look at my Instagram, which is Lisa Gillbe Stylist, I talk a lot about the benefits of jackets. I'm a huge jacket advocate because as soon as you've got a jacket on, you've got an interesting outfit. So I love having a variety of jackets in my wardrobe. Get a tailored blazer, do it in a neutral. You could do it in the colour of the season, which is khaki or olive this season. If that doesn't suit you, go for a beige, go for a black if you like wearing black, or maybe, even cream. Like that's actually really nice in winter, a cream, to do something a bit unexpected. Burgundy is huge for the season, so that would be lovely in a tailored blazer. I also recommend a checked blazer as well. So either a nice check because it adds some interest to whatever you're wearing, so maybe a gingham, or go for a tweed. That would be my personal choice. Not everyone loves tweed. I know it's a bit, it's a bit country, but it's how you wear it, and it's how you style it. And I will be talking a bit more about outfits as well in the next episode of this podcast. So I'd go for a really traditional checked Donegal tweed, something like that, blazer, and then I'd edge it up with a pretty skirt and some boots. So I wouldn't wear that blazer with a pair of, I don't know, supermarket jeans or a pair of chinos and a pair of ankle riding boots, because that would be too literal. I would look like I was in the country going to the post office. I can't think of a very good scenario, but you get the drift. It's about basically putting opposites together to create an interesting outfit. So I love a tweed blazer, love a check blazer, and they will go far for you. They're great with jeans as well. The next thing is, and I know I sound like a broken record with this, but I still love a boucle jacket. So a boucle crop jacket, they're still huge, with big baggy jeans, a nice red one, mint velvet. I've got a gorgeous boucle jacket. I'm talking about the Chanel-esque style jackets that used to be very classic, very kind of granny, but now are super edgy and go across all age groups as well. And again, it's how you wear it. If you wear that little prim jacket paired with some really wide jeans or some ripped jeans or some really baggy tailored trousers, that's going to be a really chic look. And the cropped boxy jacket goes really, really nicely with the silhouette of wide jeans or wide tailored trouser. That's a real must have. And I said a bit granny, well, a smart cardigan, which I literally call the granny cardigans, which is the cardigan version of the boucle jacket. So just a bit softer. Boden do them. Boden is not the trendiest, most edgy brand, but they do some great cardigans that would work for the days when you don't want to be as formal, you don't want to wear a jacket, and actually days like this when in the morning it's quite chilly, but the day gets warmer and warmer as it goes on, and by the end of the day you're in kind of 60-70 degree territory. So you might not need a boucle jacket. You definitely don't need a wool tweed jacket yet. We're a few weeks off that. A nice lightweight blazer, but definitely one of these cardigans would be fantastic. So it's basically just like a little cropped, boxy, but smart jacket. Mango do them. They're everywhere, to be honest. Lots and lots of brands do those. And I think that's a really handy addition, core addition that you'd get lots of wear out of in the wardrobe. Okay, so also knee-high boots. So they are massive for the new season. And, when I'm struggling what to wear, this sort of time of year, you can wear what you've been wearing in summer almost. So say you've got a floaty summer dress, you can eke that out. You don't need to pack it away yet. We're having a bit of a mini, not heat wave, but the weather has gone really quite warm again here in London, here in the UK. We're sort of 23, 24 degrees. You could wear a summer dress but you could put knee-high boots underneath to smarten them up and make your outfit look a bit more autumnal if you wanted to. But knee-high boots will get you through the whole winter. So under jumper dresses, under really lovely midi skirts. Basically, Bermuda shorts are huge for the season. That might shock horror some of you, but I love Bermuda shorts. So tailored Bermuda shorts below the knee would look great, or culottes would look great with knee-high boots. So absolute wardrobe staple, definitely. And if you can't do a heel like me, get a flat pair. Okay, next is a practical raincoat. So I mentioned the North Face. I wouldn't recommend turning up to a meeting if you're a lawyer or something like that in a practical North Face. That's for dog walking at the weekend. I would go for just quite a nice stylish raincoat, like a trench coat. You know, there's a gorgeous khaki one in my blog, actually, with the link is in the show notes, which sells out all the time at Suzanne. So it's a khaki colour, and inside the lining, it's got some beautiful check pattern. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks great with jeans at the weekend, and it looks great if you're going to a meeting. That just pulls the whole outfit together. That's the third piece that pulls the whole outfit together. So practical raincoat, definitely. And I would say as well, this is something that's overlooked quite a lot with my clients when I go and do a wardrobe edit and I look through all the stuff. My aim is to reduce the volume, to get rid of things that are dated and don't suit the client's goals for their wardrobe, how they want to look and feel in their clothes. And often they've got really old, tatty old wool coats in there because it's something that, you know, is a workhorse piece. You spend a bit of money on it. This is a workhorse. I need to get years out of this, and you should be able to, absolutely. But check if your wool coat is looking a bit scruffy. I love a checked wool coat. There's some lovely ones at John Lewis at the moment. And everyone says the time to get your coat is in September because they all sell out. Jigsaw historically have always done really good coats. So make sure, you know, a block colour, maybe a block colour red. Make sure your coat isn't looking all worn out and saggy. Still looks great because that helps you really, you know, go from meeting to meeting, place to place, looking and feeling very pulled together, and it's an absolute without fail wardrobe piece. Okay, next is a pair of sneakers or trainers. So for me, you know, again, an absolute no-brainer. I can't live without my trainers. I'm on my feet all the time, shopping with my clients, sorting out wardrobes, that kind of thing. So it's actually a really essential piece for me. So what's in on trend this season are brown. Chocolate brown is a huge colour. Brown trainers are a huge trend for this season. I'll get my sentence out eloquently in a minute. But what's really, all the fashion editors are after the Miu Miu trainers. They've done a collaboration with New Balance, and they've got different colour laces in each trainer. So one is orange and I think one's cream. They're not on my radar because they're £800. But if you would like something a bit cheaper than that, that's still great for the season, there are lots of lovely brown sneakers around with great sort of caramel sole colour or cream soles, and they look fantastic. They suit my 70s sort of vibe and aesthetic. I like a bit of that, and it just seems right for this season. And actually brown pretty much goes with everything. It goes really nicely with red, it goes really nicely with olive and khaki. So I would say get some brown sneakers. New Balance do them. Adidas have got some fantastic ones as well. So that for me would be a no-brainer. And, you know, maybe avoid the white trainers. Just a bit done. That's all. I'm not judging. But they've just been around for a long time. Switch it up and get some nice brown ones. Or maybe some dusky pink ones. And the next thing is jeans. Jeans are the workhorse. I mean, I wear jeans all the time. So I've seen the Ayla jeans from Citizens for Humanity, and they are absolutely gorgeous. And they're very wide leg, which is a silhouette that we're still seeing around. Wide leg in trousers, in tailored trousers, and also wide leg in jeans as well. Skinny jeans are nowhere to be seen at the moment. But apparently I've heard on the word on the street is they're coming back into fashion. But the Citizens of Humanity Ayla jeans are £340. So they are high end. They're a high end option. But you can find versions of those jeans literally everywhere from every price point. H&M, Hush, and other stories. Look in John Lewis for a really good denim selection. You can definitely find those that style, that baggy style of jean everywhere. So that is really my rundown. I wanted to speak as well about 2 jumpers that I think are an absolute no-brainer for me each season. So knitwear, you can get years out of knitwear. Knitwear doesn't necessarily need to look that smart. It wants, it's got to keep you cozy and warm, and actually some sort of scruffy knitwear sometimes looks quite cool. But if you're going to work, you want to look a bit smarter, you want to wear the statement pieces in your wardrobe. A navy jumper, a navy knit, and a grey knit are going to work really hard for you. They're going to be something that means that you can wear certain pieces in your wardrobe. So I always make sure, and now I really love cashmere. As I've got older, I really prefer wearing that lovely soft cashmere. John Lewis does reasonably priced cashmere, and M&S does as well. But, a nice grey, charcoal if you prefer. I prefer a light grey, and a navy blue jumper. They will be really great as a without fail in your wardrobe this season. And also a red. So splash of red, because this is a trend. So everything kind of grey, everything muted, and then you've got a strong splash of red, either in a handbag or your lipstick, or a lovely jumper. And there's a gorgeous red cashmere jumper in Massimo Dutti at the moment. And that's on my blog, my shoppable blog. And I'm going to put the link to that below in the show notes. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. As I mentioned, in the next episode, I'm going to be delving deep into how to find your personal style and your vibe. What is your aesthetic? What tricks can you use to work that out and really get that clarity? So I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. If you are enjoying it, please leave me a review. That would be amazing. And it means that I can carry on doing this, get up the charts, and get some more exciting guests to join me on the podcast. If there's anything in particular you'd like me to cover, drop me an email, lisa@lisagillbestyle.com. And also you can join my Facebook group, which is called Style Power with Lisa Gillbe. I put lots of recommendations in there, or sign up to my newsletter. Again, the links for these will be in the show notes. Take care, and I'll see you next time.